Maneva na sema PENDREAM TV. PENDREAM TV de osia dem yopo.
You are most welcome to PENDREAM TV, the only channel that brings you the best and latest updates in politics. If you are new here, please don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Hit the notification bell for more updates. Like and also share to other members to watch as well. Please, your comments are most important to us. Do leave a comment after watching, or send us your voice note on our WhatsApp number, which is 0277 128 777. Thank you. Please, I would like you to join me listening to what we have for you today, and leave a comment after watching as well. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Osu.
Well, interesting times ahead. You see, ordinarily, I am for any state that goes after our money. I don't pay tax for anybody in position to just misuse it. Neither is anybody given position to abuse that position. I mean, that explains why, as a country, we are poor.
Yeah.
Because people entrusted with our mandate, they don't do, not all of them, I mean majority of them, do not do what is expected of them. So initially when the case of Atoforcing came out, I was very curious to know what exactly he has done, because we were talking about millions of euros, 2.37 million euros. So I was very curious to know what exactly he has done, so that if there are monies in his pocket, I would amply support the state to go after the money, so that the renal unit that needs only 4 million Ghana cedis to save those on dialysis, and it can happen to you.
Yeah.
See, when people are sick and those that are strong, they always think we are far off it. We are very close.
Yeah.
So I was curious. But look, when I saw the charge sheet, I realized this country, we have no serious people in the helm of affairs. And I'm only waiting for the judge to finish this case and come out with his ruling. Because if you have been using LC, I operate with LC every day as a businessman. And it's the most funniest case you can have in court. Funniest in terms of where the person that they are targeting. The person that they are targeting must not be under any circumstance the person to be targeted. If indeed the state was mindful of retrieving or prosecuting anybody who was culpable in this transaction, should be the Ghana Health Service or the Ministry of Health. Yeah. Interestingly, he has been left off the hook. No, the state filed null prosecutor for the second accused, Dr. Animina. He should have been held liable if you have operated. What is an LC? LC is very simple. Look, Bless, I want to buy something from you. You are a supplier. I am a buyer. And LCs came into being because, you know, in those days, as a supplier, you were selling this water. I'm in Ghana, you are in, say, Dubai. I want to buy this from you. Then I send you my money. What was happening then is that I will send you the money. This water will never come. How do I get my money?
Yeah.
Even if the water will come, the specification, I will tell you that this water, I want it in this bottle. It should be in square, and I mean the latitude. It will come and it is totally different from what I really wanted from you. And so it was working against international trade. And that was how come the International Chamber of Commerce decided to formulate a uniform practice, custom practice called UCP. So that when we are doing trading, if I see or identify a supplier, we would agree on what we are looking for. I want this, in this case, we are talking about an ambulance. And I'm using this for purposes of education. I'm not going into the matter. This business that the court always want to threaten people is, what are they talking about? We have to educate people. So that people becomes aware. In this case, the education is more needed. If the Attorney General does not understand the LC, then what about the judge? So we need to educate so that it informs the decision of the court. Mind you, whatever decision comes out of the court becomes a law on the land. Yeah. In this case, ambulance. The Ministry of Health says they want an ambulance. Is that not the case?
Yeah.
It's not Atoforce saying, or the Ministry of Finance saying they needed an ambulance. It is the Ministry of Health. So in LC matters, we have the buyer and the seller. What sort of ambulance are you looking for? The ministry will give the specifications, the details. Then they would agree with the supplier, in this case, Big C. Once they agree, they sign what we call sales and purchase agreement, or what we call contracts. They sign it between themselves. Now, when it is done, me as a buyer, in order to save myself from sending money to you, Bless, as the supplier, so that you will give me something different, I'll contact my bank. The bank, I have this transaction I want to do with the supplier called Bless, in this case Big C. This is what we have agreed by way of sales and purchase agreement. Reduce all that we have agreed on in what we call letter of credit. There are ways of writing it. One day I'll come and show you. It's a simple steps, and all these are bounded by rules. It will tell you where the goods will come from. That is the origin of the goods, when it's supposed to be shipped, the latest date, the specifications, the amount that you are going to pay, whether or not a partial shipment, you can be shipping it in batches. All these are stated in there. Now, when I give it to my bank, that is Mazouk Bank, he will then reduce it into the letter of credit and give me a draft. He is not sending it directly to you, the supplier, because the bank at that material time does not have any relationship with you. So the bank gives me what we call a draft letter of credit for me to forward it to you. Now, when I forward it to you, because now I have introduced a third party called a bank, you also see your bank.
Yeah.
So when I forward it to you, you go through it to see whether what we agreed in the contract is what has been reduced. So you also send your contract to your bank and forward the draft. The bank will also, your bank also go through it, whether what was agreed in the sales and purchase agreement is what has been reduced in the letter of credit. When they go to, sometimes can go back and forth like a month because of certain ambiguities. Then finally we all agree on a common document. When you, the supplier, agrees on what has been agreed, and you send it to me, and I also say that is exactly that, you, the supplier, you sign on it to confirm that everything has been agreed. You forward it back to me, I give it to my bank, and the bank this time, because the two of us introduce the banks, my bank will send the final LC to the supplier's bank. Based on that, the goods are shipped. There are different types of LCs. We have the site LC. This is what they did. And the only advice I'll give to government agencies is that next time you don't do site LC. You do deferred. Because site LC, the moment I get the bill of lading, it's not even dangerous. It's also good. Because bill of lading is a receipt of goods on board. You understand? And it is issued by these shipping lines. No shipping line will issue a bill of lading saying that I have one water bottle in my ship, but rather say I have three. If you say you have three and it comes and it is only one, they will take the remaining two from you. So who will take that risk? No shipping line will go and write in the bill of lading that I have a black car on board and say, oh, it's rather white. Who will take you serious? And you see, the reason why LCs are so good is that when I say I'm looking for a white water and the goods gets here and it's black, you have the right to refuse. Yeah. There is something called discrepancy. Yeah. Your bank, the moment they receive the bill of lading, they will write to you, the buyer, and here, who is the buyer? It is the Ministry of Health. Yeah. They will write to the bank, the buyer, to say, this is what we have received. Is everything in there correct? It is for you, the buyer, you know the agreement you reach with the supplier to say, no, we said we needed black here. They have stated in the bill of lading it's white. It's a discrepancy. It's not correct. Once you raise that issue, the bank is not supposed to pay any money to the supplier. in this case, discrepancy issue was raised. You know that? They raised the discrepancy issue. So the Ghana International Bank did not make the payment until the Ministry of Health later on wrote that all the discrepancies have been corrected. Once you do that, the bank has no business not paying. So at what point do you bring in or draw in Atoforce? That because he in any case, can the Ministry of Health establish LCs on his own? No. They have to go through the Bank of Ghana to the Ministry of Finance. And that's why I'm saying that I am following this case carefully because it has the potential of putting all banks at risk. That when you do an LC for me, as a businessman, and later on, I write you the bank that in spite of the discrepancies pay, and the bank goes ahead to pay, I can still take the bank on for paying, though I instructed you to pay. So I do not understand why the Ministry of Health that has to answer questions
sign the contracts
will rather be there will be a novel prosecutor in this matter, and the one and I hear that authority they are raising the issue that the deputy from the minority leader didn't have the authority from his boss. The finance minister. The finance minister has gone to
yeah. It's kind
in any case, you know why?
Yeah.
It's an exercise. It's an absurdity. Are they telling us that now? For every
he was a witness, right?
Yes, every authorization given by your boss has to be on paper. Then how is government business going to work?
Yeah, exactly.
You are my deputy.
No operational autonomy.
No operational autonomy. That my boss tells me, go ahead and do it. If the boss had an issue with it, he would have been the first person to be a witness in this case. I never sanctioned this.
That's true. That's true.
So what are we dealing with?
That's true.
Micromanagement.
Look, I go to court a lot on commercial cases, and some of the decisions coming from the court. That is why I'm so particular about this case. People conniving to get judgment.
Yes.
And those that are legal practitioners, it's
this
funny.
is at the highest level. Do you know what happens?
And yes, like he said, do you know who is planning evil for you? It is not about Atoforce, but the NPP members, especially those that are in position of power, who are supporting this agenda, they are all a walking risk.
Yeah, it could happen to them.
Hey!
I think Kennedy Japon gave that hint.
Yeah.
I can't imagine.
He's one of the people who vehemently disagrees with what is going on.
I can't imagine that you are holding a position of authority, that we are going into an election that I'm telling you, it is easier for them to lose than to win. There is no way the NPP is winning this election. Take it from me.
Sure.
You can do all the machinations. The Ghanaian will settle on Alan John Chamante. Take it from me.
That's the point of divergence.
Yes.
With you.
That is a butterfant.
So what makes you think
There's
that
still an elephant in there?
if it is happening to Atoforce, and you see, the reason why I don't see the head and tail of this matter is that what bill went to parliament, this parliament, that did not get passed.
Yeah.
NPP, you have had your way, in spite of the hang nature of this parliament.
Yeah, that's true.
So, how is Atoforce a threat? At a point that the minority itself, 80 MPs, said that they didn't need what's the name, the finance minister.
Yeah.
That later became the position of the majority, that all of them didn't need the finance minister. Were they not cajoled to run away from that matter? So whatever you need has been done. Why must you target the poor soul? And if you look at it, that is only Atoforce, you will be a fool in your own country.
Exactly.
Every lover of democracy must stand up, and I agree with the minority. They must not go to parliament. Your leader that has gone to business committees and agree with them on what will be discussed in parliament is being dragged in court. What are you going to discuss?
Exactly. He's supposed to lead us in that discussion.
They have no business. In any case, Article 102 makes it clear that when you have about 92 members of parliament available, business can go on. Because that would be 1/3. And NPP, they are 137. Is that not the case? So go to parliament. And if you want to decision making,
138.
138. You have 138. So what is your fear? Every 1 million Ghanaian must support Tato Force, not because I am not supporting because he's a minority leader. I am supporting because we have axis of evil in this country who wants to destroy the democracy we are practicing. They want to, as it were, mute every divergent opinion in this country. It will be fought with the last bloodiness.
Thank you.
Now, the Attorney General, he doesn't know any shame. He together with the President. You know, you have done this shameless act. Very shameful.
Very, very.
Then you have the President praising him. I trained him. Yeah, so you train him to be fidgeted with legal proceedings. If we were in any serious country, a commission of inquiry would have been established to go into all matters that he has won.
Yeah.
Together with the firm that he was trained.
Interesting.
You understand? You need education on LC, and if you need education on LC, do you rely on an accused who himself is battling for his liberties? When you have access to the finance ministry, you have access to the Bank of Ghana, your own colleagues in the banking sector or legal personnel that can educate you, you decide if it was not to manipulate. Is there your Lord? This country, we have abused the name of God, and that is why, as a son of a pastor, you know, my father was a pastor at the Church of Pentecost.
Oh, great.
He's died. He is dead. May his soul rest in peace. Growing up, I don't go to church that much. You know why? Me, my father, as being a pastor, was also a surveyor at AGC, Anglo Gold Ashanti.
You don't go to church now.
And growing up, I saw people coming to our house to rather take my father's money at my detriment. He was not taking any monthly allowance or salary. He was rather working, and his money, the church members will come and take. And he will tell me that God will provide. Hey, also for Skasho, give me some. You say God will provide. He preferred to use his money for the poor. Then I grew up and I realized that the pastors were taking salaries from the church, from the poor people. I said, la ilaha illallah. These people are just going to lie to them. For you to keep the members in the church, you must be lying to them.
Yeah.
Creating confusion among families. Where you before, this one is a witch, this one your mother is the one doing you. That is why we have a lot of families, they don't want to see the room, they forget. Especially the elderly women. All of them are witches. All of a sudden, when you grow, you are a witch in this country. And they are all forgetting that these elderly women were once as beautiful as them.
Exactly.
And we will come to the Winneba matter.
Yeah.
Why we are there. So let me end it so that I don't take all the time.
Right. Let me read a few messages before I invite you, Dr. Mazu. Johnny Kujo says, good morning, bless. Richard Ahiagba does not know what he is talking about if he's following this court procedure carefully. This man is the most incompetent communicator director of the NPP so far. He should be talking about his illegal registration he did recently. He's also jail bound if they are out of power. Salifu Mambola says, bless, please, where is this man called Sidney Hayford who used to criticize John Mahama? Yusuf Mohammed says, this is from Vision Tamale Central. Good morning to you all. Let me say happy Eid Mubarak to our Muslim brothers and sisters. African leadership is making democracy unattractive. People have started losing confidence in democracy, and that's why when there's a coup d'etat in any African country, the people are happy and even support the coup leader. They are the reason why the coup keeps taking place in the African soil. If democracy is bad, why do we have other countries flourishing with the system? If one observes Ghana very well, he would be convinced that we have even betrayed the state motto. The state motto as we sit now is a scam. I'm glad the soldiers keep reminding them that they cannot betray the oath they took before putting on the uniform. Okay, thank you. Thomas says, okay. Kofi Brako Asama says, support the minority. Okay. Yusuf Mohammed says, NPP has forgotten that there is an end to every journey. They should keep in mind that cases we feel are not tampered with justice, that is people who are being exonerated by NPP government when they are supposed to be serving jail time. They should keep doing what they like. Very soon they will understand why John Mahama is coming back. Okay, thank you so much for your message. Good morning, bless. As for Richard Ahiagba, when he speaks, I sometimes wonder if he has conscience. Dominic from Tema. Thank you, Dominic, for your message. This one here says, I doff my heart for Solomon for the exhibition of neutrality and profound wisdom. Good morning, Pan-Africa TV. It seems all of us are now complaining about the quality of leadership today, but we have soon forgotten that in recent past we have been giving our votes to the highest bidder in the party primaries. The truth is that quality of leadership started deteriorating when money was introduced into politics. The highest bidder may mean the cleverest thief and greediest political investor. Let us all wise up. Uncle Gabi from Wamfie. Thank you, Uncle Gabi, for your message. This one here says, President Nana-Addo is the only president who has disappointed the past, disappointed the present, and disappointed the future. Surely the Nana-Addo Bawumia government will forever remain the biggest disappointment of the Fourth Republic of our dear nation. History will judge them, and they will go down in history books as failures. If Nana-Addo, as a driver, couldn't take us to our destination, then Ghanaians should not expect anything good from Dr. Bawumia, his mate. Okay, thank you. I'll read this final one. Good morning, Bless, and your noble panelist for the good work you are doing for Mother Ghana. I'm saddened by the high level of injustice that has been meted out to innocent souls like Honorable Atufo saying under the reign of Nana-Addo, who claims to be a human rights lawyer. From Nelly. Thank you, Nelly, for your message. On that note, I'll come to...
Thank you for staying to PENDREAM TV. Really appreciate your time. Please, if you have not yet subscribed as a new member, please do so for us. Hit the notification bell, like, and also share to other members to watch as well. Make sure you share to other members on your contact list or on your group chats. Thank you.
PENDREAM TV now, so far so good. Say open online portal e Ghana. Nipa share, nipa follow, nipa comment here. To my best of knowledge, without any biases, PENDREAM TV.